Hey guys, so in today's video, I thought that I would share my thoughts, opinions, and experience on this question that seems to pop up a lot for people I've noticed when they're talking about or asking about the post-op process following weight loss surgery. So for those of you who are unaware, I recently had the gastric sleeve surgery. So it is VSG, vertical sleeve gastrectomy, otherwise known as the gastric sleeve surgery. In June of 2024 is when I had my surgery, and the question that I see pop up really frequently for people who are contemplating getting this surgery is, how long do you have to be out of work following surgery? So I just want to say that everybody's experience is going to be different. It's also going to be highly dependent on the type of job that you have, but I would definitely go on whatever recommendation that your surgeon or your surgeon's office says. Sorry, I had a text message and it threw me off. So I just want to say that, like, if your surgeon tells you that you should probably be off of work for a specific amount of time, I would go based off of that suggestion because they have the most experience with these surgeries. If you are feeling better prior to that period of time and you feel like you might be able to work, I would say you could talk to them and see if that might be an option for you. But I totally was off the entire amount of time that my surgeon's office told me I should be. And when I went back to work, I was exhausted, okay? So like I said, I had gastric sleeve surgery at the end of June 2024, and I was out of work for 2 weeks. So they had told me prior to even scheduling my surgery date that I would be out of work for approximately 2 weeks. At the time that I did my surgical consultation, I was working as a sleep tech in the sleep center. So my job was a little less vigorous than my current job working as a medical assistant in the urgent care clinic. So I think that it might have been different had I told them that I was going to be working as a medical assistant following surgery. I don't know if they would have wanted me off for 3 weeks, but 2 weeks definitely seemed like it would have been fine if I was still working in the sleep center. But like going into the urgent care setting after surgery and being off for 2 weeks, it was hard. It was very, very rough. I was only working 8-hour shifts, and like in the sleep center, I was working 12-hour shifts. But the urgent care is much more active. You're on your feet. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I had like zero energy because I was barely eating anything. Like the day after I was able to start on puree diet is the day that I went back to work. So yeah, it was very, very rough for me. And like I said, if you were going back to like a desk job or something where you didn't have to be as active throughout the workday, I don't think you would have a problem going back at the 2-week point, or even earlier. I've heard of some people going back to work a few days after surgery. I don't know why you would want to, because I did have some like discomfort and a slight pain at my incision sites for, even after the 2-week point. But like even bending forward really hurt for probably the first month. Not really hurt, but I could feel like internally it felt like something was pulling inside, kind of like a muscular pain. And it was like a tightness and discomfort. And so I don't want to scare anybody away from having this surgery, because I definitely do not regret it whatsoever. I think it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made for myself. I am now back in the 100s as of yesterday, and I don't even remember the last time I weighed in the 100s, probably like late middle school, early high school. So I think it has to do with you personally. And like I said, everybody's experience with weight loss surgery is going to be different. Everybody's experience with surgery in general is different, and how people recover is different. And if you have other health conditions or if you have complications from your surgery, you might be out of work for longer than just 2 weeks. You might be fine at going back after just a few days or a week or whatever. But I would say definitely if they tell you that there's a set time, Unless you absolutely feel like it's necessary for you to go back to work before then, give yourself time to rest and recover and heal, because this is a long process. This is a lifelong process. Once you have weight loss surgery, you have to change for the rest of your life. And so it's important to keep that in mind, because these are not just simple, easy changes. You have to change the entire way that you view things. You have to change your relationship with food. You have to change your mindset around food and exercise and activity. And if you haven't fully prepared for that process, it could definitely be rough. And, you know, there are things that I struggle with on a daily basis. I deal with head hunger still, and tomorrow I will be 9 weeks post-op. And I deal with constant head hunger. I am in a constant battle with my head due to my unhealthy relationship with food throughout like 95% of my life from the time I was a child. You know, adults in my life never really told me, no, you can't have this, or no, you don't need to eat that. They kind of just gave me what I wanted to eat, and I chose a lot of unhealthy snacks that seemed good when I was a kid, but led to me ultimately being overweight for a majority of my life. And so, you know, you have to change everything about the way that you interact with food, your relationship with food, and, you know, there's a lot that goes into this process. So I should also say that one of the hardest parts is the beginning, because you're on liquids. You want to eat real foods. Once you're on like purees, you want to eat real foods. Not every surgeon's office is the same, so not everybody has the same process, like liquids to puree to regular. There's different time frames depending on your specific surgeon's office, but I'm just telling you, like, from my own experience, I was on liquids until 2 weeks post-op. I was on purees from 2 weeks post-op to 4 weeks post-op, or no, 6 weeks post-op. And this Monday, tomorrow, will be my 3rd week on regular textures, and I'm still not eating a whole lot of regular texture food. I still find that the puree foods are a lot easier because I can just throw them in a tiny little cup and eat. But everybody's time frame for recovering and going back to work is going to be a little bit different depending on, like I said, the type of job that you have, how well your body heals, whether or not you had any sort of complications. And also, a lot of surgeons' offices will do hernia repairs while they're in there doing this surgery, just because, like, if you have a hernia, it can impact the way that you recover post-op. And so they choose to, or at least a lot of them choose to repair the hernia while they're in there anyway. I did not have any hernias, so I didn't have to deal with a hernia repair. So I don't know, you know, like, if I had a hernia that had to be repaired, if it would have lengthened my time before I was able to go back to work. But definitely, if you have any concerns about things like this, I would reach out to your surgeon's office and, you know, kind of ask them what to expect as far as recovery goes and how long you will have to be off of work. I'm sure that they expect people to ask these questions, so don't think, I just want to specify something here. Don't think that any question you have is a stupid one or one that you shouldn't ask, because, you know, everybody has questions, and it's better to ask them than to sit there and wonder and worry when it could be something with a super simple explanation. So just ask these sort of questions to your surgeon's office or your dietitian or whoever it is that you have a question that they might be able to answer. So with that being said, that is all I have for today's video. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions or any topics you would like me to discuss on my channel in the future, please let me know. I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.